Welcome to our latest episode of Mornings with Mayesh. Gosh, guys, I've been on here yesterday. I feel like I'm on multiple times a week now. I love it. Thank you for joining me. And just in case you don't know, it's Yvonne. And we have a super exciting episode, super special. We have the design duo, Sarah Campbell and Jordan Marx from the Big Flower Fight and Intrigue Designs, here to do an interview, talk about their experiences on the show. I'm super, super excited. I don't know if you guys watched, but I did. I loved it. I didn't binge it because my littles wanted to watch it with me as well. So it's a good family show as well. And I'm just really excited about today. Cannot wait. So keep on coming in. Say good morning. Say hello. Let us know where you are from. And we will get started here in a couple of minutes. While we are waiting for everyone to get settled, I just wanted to give you a couple of friendly reminders. If you have questions for Sarah or Jordan or both of them, please post them in the comments and we will get to them if we have time. If not, hopefully we can get them to maybe answer them after the show and I'll add them to the show notes. Also, speaking of show notes, those will be posted up on our blog either today or tomorrow. It always just depends on my crazy work day. And that way you will get all of our notes. You'll have a video replay and a podcast. So that way you can also listen to this if you would like to. So to make sure you get that blog update, I feel like I'm completely repeating myself because I just did this yesterday, but be sure to subscribe to our email. So that way you get all of our blog updates. You're in the know of all the Mayesh news and exciting events, and of course, all of our great educational pieces that we do as well. So lots of really good stuff. I promise it's worth it. I don't spam you. I promise. Hey, Mia, how are you? Hey, Lori. Huntress Florals, you're always here. I love you. Hi, Carol, Lynn. Guys, keep it coming. I love it. And where are you from? Yeah, we like every live, I feel like we have people from all over the country and then we have people from different parts of the world. And that is the beauty of social media because we all get together in this one little spot in our little world. So our industry is small and I love that. We all can be friends and get together like this. All right. So it is time to bring on Jordan and Sarah. Hey guys! You guys are so cute. So thank you so much for coming here on the show. It's going to be so much fun. I know people are really excited to hear about everything that went on for you guys. Woo woo. And congratulations, by the way. This is such a big deal, right?
Thank you.
It's been crazy fun. Like,
oh my gosh, so much fun.
We have fun anyway, so this has amplified that flowers and just the enjoyment that we're able to share with everyone. So it's been good.
My favorite part has been seeing, Yvonne, like you were just saying, different people flooding in from all over the world saying, I loved the show, my family loved the show, I'm watching it with my significant other from, Brazil, the Philippines, America, Canada, like all over. It's amazing.
Yeah, that really has been, because for the last few years, we've been growing here in the United States, and we're used to hearing that in the United States, but to hear it on a global level it's just so heartwarming.
And if they are watching the show, that means they're learning about plants and flowers and the industry, and that's what we wanted. So it's really just such a blessing.
Yes, I love it. I love it. And before we really get into the show and start talking about the Big Flower Fight, can you guys just introduce yourselves a little bit and tell us about your flower story? Because since we're all flower lovers and florists and designers here, let's share.
Well, I usually go first. Let's flip it, Jordan.
Oh, I was going to say
you go first.
Oh, but then they want context.
Okay, good.
Sarah will go first. Yeah.
I am a wedding florist by trade. I started as a wedding planner and then morphed into a high-end wedding florist, and I love big, over-the-top designs. About 3 years ago, we started touring the country teaching wedding design, bouquets, centerpieces, and then last year we jumped into full-scale, large floral installation workshops and classes, and that's actually where Jordan came in.
Yeah, so I am Sarah's kind of right-hand gal. I started mostly behind the scenes doing a lot of marketing, copywriting, social media type of stuff. And then once we hit the road, I kind of became like an all-purpose tool for everything. So I do a little bit here, a little bit there, a little in front of the camera, a little behind the scenes. So it's just been a lot of fun on this journey and seeing where life takes us at this point.
So the most interesting thing was Jordan with me as part of the big flower fight, because where she does lots of things for intrigue and she really is my right hand, the one thing I don't ask her to do
is design anything.
Yeah.
From day one, Sarah's been like, can you grab me the hydrangea? And I'm like, what is a hydrangea? I don't know what that is. I know it now. It's been 2.5, almost 3 years. But yeah, going on the show for me was really nerve-wracking because we were all out of our comfort zone and out of our element. But I was one of the only designers on the show who had never designed a single thing ever.
Wow.
So that was crazy.
That's brave. I love that. I think that's a wonderful tale too for our littles who are watching this show. I'm always talking about being brave. And honestly, I say it all the time on my regular show to our bigs too. Like, be brave, be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that's amazing.
Yeah. It's been a lot
Love
of fun.
it. Very good. So real quick, I wanted to send a special thanks to one of our viewers, Kim. She sent in a ton of questions for you guys. She pretty much wrote this whole entire show. I got a couple of questions. Yeah. Kim is amazing. I asked her questions and she sent me, I think, like 20 different questions. Some of them we, are a little too detailed and we can't get into some of the nitty gritty behind the scenes. Yes. But still, and we had some other questions sent in too, but I just wanted to give her a shout out because it's super awesome. Yes. So our first question that a lot of people want to know about, guys, is what was it like behind the scenes for you two?
It was so amazing. Like, you've met this cast of characters on Netflix. Now imagine all of us in one room.
Oh my gosh.
We were instantly a family.
Oh yeah, for sure. It was it was so fun and eye-opening, and having so many different people in the same room all of the time always led to hilarious stories and so much fun, and it was really incredible behind the scenes and helpful. Like, everybody was there with happy hearts and opened minds and just wanted to have fun and create beautiful things. So it was really a special experience.
It really was. And sometimes it really did get emotional. Like, it was stressful. Like, there were tears, there was frustration. And this community, this little micro BFF community, everyone just kind of stepped in different ways to help support each other. I did not expect this going into a competition. Yes. Yeah. But that is the floral community. That's who we are. We help each other.
Yeah, I have goosebumps because honestly, I was very surprised about that as well. And you guys even got in trouble for being so helpful, which was very funny and comical, but it was so sweet at the same time, just watching everyone like, okay, we really have to help out. I forget who it was, but yeah, that was really great.
At the time, we definitely did not think that was very funny, and we did not pull away lightly. Like, there was more than one reminder where people were saying, you can't do that, it's a competition, and we'd say, oh, but we love each other.
Oh, and a declutter just looking at us like, what is going on?
No, but that was great. And Sarah, you're so right. That's what our industry is all about. There, so many people are just willing to put it all out there and help and educate and just step in when other companies need extra support. And it's really amazing. So it was great to see that on kind of a larger scale on Netflix, because that's just crazy to me still.
Surprise Netflix as well.
Oh yeah. I think they were immediately rethinking the whole competition when they found out that none of us were going to be uber competitive. They were like, hold on a second.
But we weren't all competitive. We all wanted to win.
But not in like a sabotaging negative, you're going down kind of a way. It was more like, I'm going to do really good, but also you can do good too, just not quite as good as I'm doing.
Right. Yes. It was so good. So good. All right. So Can you guys tell us a little bit about how the contestant teams are chosen? How the judges were chosen? Was there a list of criteria that was presented to the contestants so they knew what the judges were using when they were looking at things? Like, do you guys know anything about that?
We know nothing about that unless you know something I don't know, Jordan.
No.
We weren't part of that. So, and I guess it makes sense we weren't part of that because they didn't want us to know who our competitors were. We didn't meet everyone until like that day.
The morning of the first day, yeah.
Wow.
And we had no idea who the judges were. Don't tell the hosts either, but we're from America and we didn't know the host, so we actually thought it was the gardener. Well, no, I.
Yeah, because don't say we.
I thought that our host was the gardener. So
Kristen?
No, not Kristen. Oh, Kristen would not be the gardener. No. He was.
I was like, who?
Vic. Yeah. Vic, I thought was the gardener.
Vic Reeves, our host. He was always wearing those crazy shirts and like just had the most fun attitude and facial expressions. So we were like, oh, he's a flower guy, and then he was like, I don't know what this is. None of us know each other's journey to getting on the show. As far as like criteria for judging and stuff, we know pretty much what they showed on the show. They would come in and say, here's what we want you to do, here's what we're looking for, go at it.
If I had to guess how they selected the judge, I would guess that they wanted a big, bold, beautiful personality that could really explain and share and build that momentum. And Kristen nailed it. Like he has this energy behind him, and he's pretty.
I was gonna say, hello, those suits.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. Freaking amazing.
And I gotta say, I personally love grandma style. Like, I love the floral
grandma style.
I love grandma style. And he would pull off these really sharp suits. And if you look closely, he had the grandma style button-down shirt underneath. It looked incredible.
Don't tell Kristen Sarah just called him a grandma. He wouldn't like that.
I won't. I will not say anything. My lips are sealed.
I love that look. That was a compliment.
No, he was amazing. I loved everything about him. All right, guys. So there was 8 big designs. You guys made it through the 7th design challenge, right? So we went from insects to fashion to huge hairy beasts and edible thrones, magnificent. Why can't I say it? Mobiles, sea creatures, green giants. So out of all of those, guys, what was your favorite floral sculpture that you created?
Can I go first?
Yeah, I was going to say Sarah and I will probably have different favorite sculptures, I think.
I actually have 2 favorites, and I feel like I need to put them in the hierarchy and give a little explanation.
I'm excited to hear that.
My actually favorite of the whole show, the judges did not like. I loved our lemur. Now, I understand. I've seen some of the memes. It does look like a kitty cat. I get it. But I loved it because that challenge came to us and we had literally, I think they quoted us saying we had no idea what we're doing. We really had no idea. For a good hour of that challenge, we looked at that metal frame and I'm like, I don't know what to do with it.
For one thing, we looked at our faces. 3, 2, 1, go. Just looking at it. We're like, what do we do with that?
So it may not have been the judge's favorite, and we may not have been able to figure out to get the tail in the air, and there may have been some trials, but that lemur was darn cute.
He was super cute. I liked the lemur a whole lot as well. My little one too. She appreciated everything that you did for that lemur.
And it was finished. That's what I like. It may not have been perfect, but it was finished. And I think that's really important. And it was one of the things that I used in running my business that, done is better than perfect. So sometimes you just have to finish the task and let it go.
Right.
My second favorite was the fashion challenge and that amazing burlesque style floral gown that we made.
I loved that dress.
Yes, hands down, that's the the design that I feel like felt the most us of anything else, and I will love it forever. I know how amazing it was, even if Chanel
No
and
spoilers,
Raymond.
no spoilers, no spoilers.
Well, you know what? There's spoilers because honestly, that was my favorite. You guys should have won, hands freaking down, all the way. The winners.
That I'm bitter, but maybe just a little bit, a little bit.
So, but we have an idea. I think we need a proper dress off.
Yeah, we want to dress off with Chanel and Raymond.
Yeah.
Bring Chanel and Raymond to America, and we need a proper dress off. Maybe a whole fashion runway off.
Well, let's not. Chanel is a fashion designer, remember, so we don't want to get too in over our heads.
Okay.
But a dress off is for sure.
It's okay. It's a dress off. So we could lose. That's what happens.
We didn't say we're going to win. We just said we're doing a dress off. And then I think my favorite was by far the Mobile/Mobile. Was a lot of debate on the show over how
I know. I don't know how to say it.
I don't either. I say Mobile like
Mobile.
Mobile. I love that one because, as we talked about a second ago, I am not a designer at all. And going into this show was really scary for me because I knew it's really difficult when you're going someplace knowing the purpose of you being there is to be judged and you have no idea what you're doing. Like someone saying, I'm going to judge you for doing this thing that you don't know how to do is terrifying. And I felt like on that challenge, I really knew what I could do. And that was so simple, was make those birds. But I was so darn tootin' proud of those birds. Like I knew I could do that. And I felt really good in that challenge and therefore loved the design because I think it was the first time in the show where I felt purposeful and knew that I knew what I was doing.
And I wasn't directing anything.
Yeah.
So essentially it was every week kind of like this workshop. Only I actually didn't know how to do this stuff, so I'm trying to like figure it out and then teach her stuff I don't know.
So many times I have like clippers in one hand and like a hammer in the other hand and chicken wire and like a plant balancing on my shoulder and I just go, Sarah, what am I doing with any of this? I don't know what I'm doing.
I know. I feel like you guys needed to like be carpenters to like be able to get through half of these challenges.
Well, just to be clear, when we accepted this role in this show, they did give us a whole list and they said, please check off all the things you know how to use. And I read that as, please check off all the things you know what they are and you have hired someone to use them before. So
when Sarah and I find an opportunity that looks exciting, Sarah says this all the time, we just say yes. We don't ask questions. We see something amazing that we want to do and we go, okay, we will figure out how to do it. So when they came to us and said, how do you feel about this show? We were like, 100% sign us up. We're ready to go. And then we got there and then we were like, okay, what are we doing? What's happening? What's going on?
Wait a minute. Why do these flowers have roots?
A plant? What is that? No. But it was sometimes life is more fun that way. You just jump in and then figure it out when you're there.
All right, Yvonne, to be clear, I thought we were going to be making big bridal bouquets and maybe a ceremony set. I only thought wedding flowers because I'm so wedding focused. That's been my career, my life. I was completely thrown off when we had to create a giant beetle on challenge 1.
One of my favorite stories of the whole show is Sarah was so set on doing these large arrangements, these bouquets and whatnot, that when we got to the throne challenge and Kristen said, we want you to make a banquet, Sarah looked at me and said, a bouquet! And I said, a banquet and bouquet are not the same. And she was so dead. You want the bouquet? And I was like, no, 2 different words, not the same thing. Banquet.
All right, Kristen, if you're listening right now, I could have rocked Best in Bloom bouquet.
For sure. We should have done, looking back, this is just a thought that I had, we should have made a big bouquet as a part of that dress. Like, why didn't we just make a bouquet?
I don't know. We had a lot to do.
Yeah, I was gonna say when you're in that setting, you're not thinking about that. You're just looking at the task and going, okay, we gotta get this done right now.
Yeah. Sorry.
I
cutting you off.
Yeah, I know.
No, I love it. I love it. And I think everyone is too. You guys talked a little bit about how you were surprised that it was plants. And I feel like I did see a little controversy, Sarah and Jordan, when you guys announced the show and people saw the trailer because it wasn't really about floral design. And there was a lot of our industry people a little upset. So what do you want to say to that?
So first, I think that really comes from when the plant world hears the word flower, they think gardens and what's in their potted plants, and they see a whole nother world.
Right.
But we as florists, we are very laser focused, and we, myself included, feel like the whole world revolves around floral design. And I think it would just surprise a lot of people because they heard flower and they only thought about what they know in their world. Because I had the same shock. And I remember kind of being, I wasn't attitudey, but I'm like, Jordan, what the heck do I do with this?
What are these?
Like,
these flowers are connected to other things. I don't understand.
But then once you really get to see and experience how the flowers and the plants are all coming together, I left that show, and I think a lot of people left the show feeling like, okay, now we have a broader understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been feeling for a while that plants were making this big insurgence within the floral industry. And I think that Netflix is really helping to add that sustainability level of the living, growing plants to what we do as florists.
And I think beyond that, it was still a wonderful opportunity to educate the world on what flowers and floristry is, and to say no to an opportunity like that just because it doesn't look exactly like how you wanted it to would have been doing a disservice to the industry.
Yes.
Right.
So it was a lot of it was beautiful and fun, and I loved it.
Yes. So we made the final decision to be part of the show before we knew all the plants were involved. And there was a small part of me once I discovered it, I'm like, oh my gosh, is this going to be good? Because our reasoning when we decided to say yes without asking any other questions was this will highlight flowers. It will highlight our industry. And I was a little personally shaken by the plants at first. But then I got over it and I learned so much. Taylor and Nick are like the plant gods and goddesses.
Yeah.
And they're so eager to share with you how to take care of things.
And looking now at the Twitter comments, the Instagram comments, the Facebook comments, even though the show wasn't entirely cut flowers, the number one comment I'm seeing is, I didn't know floristry was a career. I want to become a florist. I want to learn about flowers. So it was a successful opportunity in terms of showing people, hey, here's a little bit, but if you come with us, there's this much more.
Yes.
So,
and I think the other area that kind of created some controversy is, there are lots of designers that have spent years, sometimes decades of their lives that they have dedicated to learning their craft, understanding their craft, and they take it very personally when they see what they revere being used as entertainment. But the reality is, entertainment is how we get people's attention. Then once you have their attention, then you can teach them. And I think Netflix did a great job.
Yeah, very good. So I know you talked a little bit about adding a bouquet to your dress, like that would be something that you'd want to do after the fact. Were there other things that you would do differently, whether it was design or how you acted or all of that? Anything different?
Well, there is an episode. I'm not going to give it away. But there might have been an episode where I was being a little ornery, maybe not listening well.
But I love that those kind of moments were showcased. Oh, there's a fly on my face.
That's because we have plants and flowers all over the place.
Exactly. But they did showcase a couple of moments where Sarah and I butted heads or weren't necessarily communicating in the most effective way. And a lot of people have commented on that, saying, I'm really glad they showed that. And the fact of the matter is, I am too, because Sarah and I are such a great team. And the reality of being a great team is the understanding that sometimes disagreements will happen, but it's how you work through them and continue on from that. that really makes you a good team. So I know Sarah had a little bit of a heart palpitation watching that go down, but I think in the end we're really happy that they showed that, and I don't think we would change that because I think it was important for people to see that these things happen and you can move on and grow.
Well, I like to be all butterflies and rainbows all the time. Big smiles. So it wasn't my favorite thing, but it was real. And that is really how we argue, and it's how we get past. Even when you saw that we kind of then divide and conquer the task, where I'm like, okay, Jordan, you go handle
that.
birds.
I'm gonna do this.
I'm gonna do all the rest of this and figure out the birds. And that really kind of stemmed from Jordan has an analytical mind and I have a creative mind. So I couldn't think about the rigging and all of that. Normally, I wouldn't do that. Like, I'm working with the team that's gonna help with that rigging. That isn't my job.
Right.
So that added stress. It was helpful for me to focus on the creative and creating that beautiful spiral. And Jordan figuring out how to make birds that wings flap.
I was so proud of those birds, man.
I love those birds. They were awesome. And they moved.
But back to the question about what we would do differently. I think I was super. I am not used to working under that kind of extreme time pressure, whereas Sarah, who has done these kinds of weddings and large events on a strict time schedule for years, is kind of knows how to flush out timing better. And I was so preoccupied with like time, that sometimes I think it actually slowed us down instead of helping us move faster. And I think were we to go in a competition style thing again, I would focus more on the work that needed to be done and doing it well and quickly rather than all the work that still needs to be done after I do this one thing. Because I think that slowed me down worrying too much about all the things that had to be done.
Yeah, that was one of the areas that we definitely were challenged. So, and I think for me, communication needed to be better. And we figured that out as we were going. But, you know, as a wedding designer, and the really is, I am the boss. When I have a team, like I'm directing the team, I know everything that has to happen. I've got my 40-page docket that is outlining everything we're doing in this wedding. And I've got these sub-teams working on everything. And I have it all in my head and written down. For this, there was no time to write all this stuff down. We had a quick sketch. We had to gather our materials. We spent maybe an hour trying to figure out our logistics. But then all of that was in my brain. And I, in the beginning, wasn't giving it to Jordan. So she didn't know that, okay, Sarah's having me just push plants in the legs of this creature right now. But she knows that we also have to give it a tail. And she knows we also have to do this. So,
Sarah's brain was working at 1,000 miles an hour and then forgetting to tell me the things that it was doing. So she would start doing something else, and I'd be like, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, obviously I'm doing this. And I'm like, no, it's not obvious because you didn't tell me that. We learn and we grow, and those are things that, were we to do it again, would be much less of an issue.
I think it kind of plays into when we do workshops. Whenever, and this is good for anyone who's coming to our workshops, if you ever see we're launching a new workshop, the very first workshop in any series is going to be. Sorry, I got to decline.
That's better.
The very first workshop is going to be our challenge. So we kind of have to find our footing, and then it gets even better and better. So those of you out there, maybe just don't come to the first one. Give us time.
Or come to the first one if you want to see a good show.
Yeah, you guys sound a little bit far away right now with your audio. It changed a little bit. Did something happen?
Oh no!
I still can hear you. You guys just sound a little bit farther away than you did before.
Far away too. See if I can.
So maybe it's a Facebook thing. Maybe it's a Facebook thing.
I don't know. I had a call come in. That could have been what happened.
It's all good. It's all good.
We'll just talk longer.
Exactly. Everyone that's watching, can you guys hear us well? I would love to hear from you guys. Let me know.
Bring it closer.
Are you really close? You can see our pores.
Oh my gosh, please don't look too close.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, I was going to say with workshops too, when we do them, honestly, the first one, there's always a bunch of things I feel like that go wrong, but we always say we expect something to go wrong for every single one. We plan for everything to go wrong and hope that nothing does. And that's just the way it goes. Like, it's just the way it is. That's how workshops are. So I can relate to that.
Yeah.
I see some, Lynn, I think you guys kind of answered this already, but Lynn says, so did you know any prior information about what you would be working on before you guys got to the show?
No.
It was all so top secret.
That was the scary part, especially when we walked in to the sea creature episode. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I won't tell you guys what happened, but
you gotta watch. It's crazy.
It was crazy. Like, that was one of the hardest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun episode.
Man, it was intense. That was a hard one emotionally in real life. And I won't say why, you gotta watch it to find out. But yeah, some stuff happened during that episode that was really hard to handle as people who put a lot of hard work into stuff.
So there is a point, and you will see us in the show, where I look at Jordan and like, you got any ideas? And I can really appreciate if you can take the lead on this. She's like, nope, I got nothing.
Yeah, it's funny because they had showed us kind of butting heads a little bit in previous episodes. Some people in comments have been like, oh, Sarah and Jordan almost started fighting during the sea creature, and that's not true. We really just had no idea what we were doing. So when Sarah asked me questions and I'm like, I don't know, Sarah, that's the reality. We were like, we don't know.
We don't know. I know. And again, I feel like maybe if you guys maybe like take some carpenter classes and stuff. And
that was our carpenter class. That whole show was, I'm good now. I'm good.
All right, so what would we do differently? I'd probably spend a lot more time with Owen and Declan.
Yeah.
Yes.
And maybe I could have done their flowering, and they could have done our carpentry. And it would have been
dream team.
Yeah, dream team.
Yeah, dream team for sure. Yeah. For sure. So guys, you talked a little bit about it with, just kind of a little bit of the miscommunications and getting frustrated. But that has to be a little strange with having cameras around. So how did that feel, having cameras around you all of the time and having that competition pressure, getting things done under a certain amount of time?
I was going to say, to be 100% honest, after the first 5 minutes, you don't even realize that they're there. And it's not like these are some small cameras that are right up in your face. These guys are on big cameras that are sometimes 12 feet away, and you don't even know that they're filming you, and they're filming you. So it really honestly didn't play in that much for me until the judges came up when you were in the middle of doing something really stressful and started asking you questions, and you were like, please leave me alone, I have to put plants in this tail. This festuca is not going to plant itself.
Remember the time they came up? We had like 3 minutes left or 5 minutes left.
It's in the show. It's a sea creature episode, and Vic and Natasha come up to talk to us, and Sarah goes, really? Right now?
I know.
That's when it got frustrating, but normally you didn't even notice them.
And I wasn't mad at them.
No.
But you're like, I don't have time for you right now.
Why right now?
Sorry, we cut you off again.
No, it's good. I'm just commiserating with you like I was there, Yes, it's good. Okay, so Sarah, the boss lady, Jordan, the analytic lady, how would you guys change the show? Like if you were going to do the show on your own, how would it be done differently?
Well, okay, I have a laundry list.
Do you?
I do.
Oh, you go first then. I'm thinking.
Nice.
First, I would have my own carpenter.
But only us, none of the other teams, just us.
Isn't there a show, like one of the past shows, that you would get a carpenter, I feel like they would be like, okay, here's your carpenter and here's your budget.
Show? You know what show I think that was? Do you remember Trading Spaces, the room design show? Yes. They got their own carpenters.
Yes.
So I think I would have my own carpenter and
unlimited plants and flowers of any kind we wanted.
No. I would have it be only flowers because I know how to do only flowers and a few plants just because that's my comfort zone. I'm a plant florist. That's what I know how to do. But other than that, honestly, I loved every minute of the show.
Yeah. I think my list would be unlimited plants and flowers, no time restraints, we win every time, and I get a pony.
A pony?
Yeah, pony. A real one. Those are my 4.
Real pony.
Didn't get that.
Okie dokie. Mariah has a really good question. She says, do you ladies have contact with the other contestants? They were all so talented. It was exciting to watch such different talents creating in one room.
We talk to each other every single day. Every day.
Yeah. Every day.
Mhm.
It is, we instantly bonded, all of us, as, like I said at the beginning, this really great family that definitely surprised the production team. But we're all vastly different. There's no way that these people would have come together had it not been for Netflix.
Yeah.
Like, we're so polar opposites in so many ways, but we're all very passionate, artistic, creative people that can focus when it comes to plants and flowers.
Yeah. And I think there's a through line of 100% genuine kindness in every single one of those people that really looped us all together. And that kindness has continued even now. And I think that's what makes the bond so special, is we honestly, truly see the differences in one another, love and respect those differences, and just have this kindness of like, oh, I see you, you see me, this is who we are now. We're never leaving each other ever again.
And that doesn't mean it was all bliss all the time.
No.
Because there was
Right.
competition, there was elements of frustration. But when you're a family, you can disagree and still love each other and still come together. And I think that's part of what bonded us.
Yeah. I like the part where she said such different talents created in each room. And that's so true. We were all so different. And each of us had each team had their talents that they were so good at. And it was a joy to watch them work every single day.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, I love it. So my question though, Sarah, I know how you roll. Do you got like special projects going on with a bunch of different people now from the show?
Well,
am I allowed to ask that?
You can. So I definitely, of course, have to get Netflix's permission once this COVID calms down.
Yeah.
We definitely want to do a tour, whether it's a national tour or it might even be a global tour, because it seems like we picked up a lot of attention in Brazil, the Philippines, in
Japan,
the UK, Japan.
Yeah.
So a big flower fight tour, or even an intrigue tour that we have our big flower fight friends there.
That would be so
Yes.
fun.
I think
So
that
much
would be
fun.
wonderful. And then we do have some fun things in the works, some wonderful, wonderful things have opened up, but we don't have anything we can talk about yet.
Secrets.
I love secrets. I love that. I just love knowing that they exist, really. So
They're
I
there.
figured you wouldn't be able to say much, but just wanted to ask.
I think what I really am coming out of this with is the fact that flowers have been so important to me for so long. And I felt kind of like I've had to be scrappy for getting that message of supporting and community and growing together out there. And then Netflix swooped in, and they are having this passion for flowers. And they're just helping to build this. They very easily could have taken a show called The Big Flower Fight and made it a hot mess.
Right.
And they didn't. They showed community in a beautiful way. So I think this is, I don't know where I was going with that.
More opportunities to come.
Yes.
Yeah.
More opportunities, and opportunities for other designers as well.
We're working. We're working. We never stop working.
Love it. Of course. I wouldn't expect anything less. Okay, guys. So what was the biggest thing you guys learned doing the show?
What hooker was?
The hooker.
Hooker.
You know, that's one of our favorite plants now. I love the hooker because of the memories attached to it, and also it's beautiful.
I might have 6 hooker plants growing in my front porch right now.
Yeah.
Not in the front porch, but potted.
Very nice. Does hooker grow in South Florida?
I think I learned a lot about self-confidence and not being afraid to push yourself, even if you aren't necessarily 100% sure of what you're doing. Just having the confidence to do something is sometimes enough, and understanding that even if you're not 100% sure, you innately still have value, and your creative ideas are still worthy to bring to the table, even if they aren't the ones that work. I think I learned a lot about having belief and faith in the value of yourself and your ideas.
Yeah. That was very deep, and I appreciate that.
Thanks. I do a lot of thinking in my spare time.
Mine was clearly not nearly as deep. I learned a lot too, though.
It's a hard question because that experience spans so many different lessons to be learned. But that's just one of them. I could write a book on the stuff that we learned over that show.
Yeah.
Pukra, circle saws. So what's a circle? Well, we know now.
Circular
saws.
Circular saw. Yep. So speaking of learning, what did you guys learn that you think you'll be able to bring to your own business now and apply that?
Everything.
For me, it was plants. So you were going to see plants, potted plants, living plants, work into more of my installations, more of my wedding work, bouquet work. I really have built this burning passion for living plants that didn't necessarily exist before.
And for me, my career in plants and flowers has kind of worked backwards. So I think on the show, I learned a lot of basic design skills that somebody on the show probably would have already had if they weren't me.
Right.
That was hard. Can I just come out and just say it? I love this girl, and she's really smart. But to not have another designer by my side was really, really hard. Especially because, as designers, we have these creative minds that you kind of have to bounce ideas off. And it's kind of hard to bounce when you're the only one who knows those things.
Yeah. But I also think that is what the production team and Netflix really liked about us, is that we were kind of different in the fact that everybody else on the show had some idea of what we were doing. And Sarah and I, as a team, were just different because I had no idea. So I think they were kind of intrigued about I wonder what that would be like. Yeah. And now we know.
So we talked yesterday with Chanel and Raymond, who were on the show with us, and we discussed how our teams were very similar. Chanel coming from a fashion design background without a floral history, and Raymond being a traditional florist.
Yeah.
And so the two of them they came together bringing two different skill sets, and Jordan and I came together bringing two different skill sets.
Yeah. Except for my skill sets is marketing, which doesn't relate to really anything, whereas Chanel, at least with the fashion, had some design background. And I do have a very creative mind as well.
You do.
But just not creative in the floral kind of sense.
Right.
Getting there, but you have to learn about the flowers before you can be creative with them. And that's where I looked to Sarah when I was like, I don't even know what's possible. So how can I be a good design partner when I don't even know what you can do? You being me, I don't know what I can do.
Now, Jordan has been with us on workshop after workshop after workshop, and she's seen all of these designs done. So she definitely did absorb some of that.
Yeah.
There was some stuff that I do all the time that you folded right into. You're like, okay, I know
that.
what to do with this painted plumosa.
Right.
She ran right over it. She got the plumosa.
I knew if there was tinted plumosa, that was ours.
Yeah. We all knew that. As soon as I saw that, I was like, Sarah's getting all of that.
Oh yeah, it's true.
We got all of it. I don't think anyone else even wanted it or even noticed it.
But that's one of the perks of being a floral designer in a room full of plant people, is we knew the value of that.
Yes.
We knew it.
Where we may have struggled when it came to plants, I feel like we held our own when it came to flowers.
Yeah.
Very good. So I don't want to give, for everyone that's watching that hasn't watched the show and hasn't seen the end, just stop, because I want to ask about the end.
Yeah, watch the show.
Watch the show, but stop watching us and then come back and watch the end afterwards. Sound good?
I support this statement.
Okay. So I loved all the designs for the finale. I want to know who you guys would have selected.
Does it have to be one of the 3 fairy tales that they did?
What else would it be?
Like a combination of all of their designs?
Let me start and then you can pick up.
Okay.
So I actually liked each of the designs for different things. I liked Andrew and Ryan's design for that intricate detail that they were able to put into their design. I liked Hank and Yan's because it was colorful and big and bold and beautiful. Hank and Yan's was actually who I thought was going to take the win, because I actually can't see past color. You can distract me with bright, big, beautiful things anytime. And I love a design where you take a lot of flowers and put them all together. And that's exactly what that beautiful tower was. And then when it came to Jim and Ralph, I felt that Jim and Ralph told the story the best, and I don't know how well that projected onto camera. But they had their goose. They had, they even made little mud cow patties that I don't think you can see that. They had their garden. They had their characters. I instantly, when I looked at the Jack and the Beanstalk in person, I could see that story laid out.
And that one was so innately theirs. Like, you, in person, knowing Jim and Ralph without a shadow of a doubt, when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's Jim and Ralph's.
I feel like all three of them were very innately
those people. Yeah. I misunderstood this question. When you said which would we have chose, I thought you meant if we were in the finale, which fairy tale would we have wanted to do, which is why I was like, which one? Okay, so if I was a judge, I would have picked all of them. I don't know, that's such a hard question, because that was one time when I was really thankful I wasn't a judge, because I don't know how I would have chosen. They were all so spectacular, truly amazing.
They were. They really
and the amount of work, like, did you see how big those were?
It was incredible. And I'm like deathly afraid of heights. Like, I can barely even get on a step ladder. So I couldn't even imagine getting one of the tall ones.
Great for the Hansel and Gretel then, the house.
Yes.
Was more low to the ground.
In fact, if we could have chosen one, I probably would have made the mistake of choosing Rapunzel because I like that story. But I think we would have excelled best with Hansel and Gretel because we would have pulled in the color and we wouldn't have had to walk up 3 flights of steps. I can't imagine them carrying all those flowers up and down like that.
Yeah. So another thing that I think sometimes people are skeptical about when they're watching the show is like, how much time did you have? The time that they tell you that you have, that is the time that you have. There's no going over. And I don't know if people understand how much time it takes to carry plants up and down 3 flights of steps. Like, the time alone that those designs would eat up carrying the plants up and down was probably insanely crazy. I couldn't imagine.
I couldn't believe that there wasn't anyone that was actually going to get the plants, because that was, we
had to get
all of our time just running to get plants. I know, if we do a large scale event and I've got like 60 feet of flower wall, which is insane and takes so many buckets of blooms, I have a team whose sole job is to pick up the flowers, bring them to the designers.
Right.
But in this, it was
all us.
Go to the nursery. We had to figure out what we wanted from what they gave us. And again, we don't have plants. So, and of course, there's some plants that we weren't supposed to use because it was not part of the challenge, but we
used them. It was there. We took them. And another thing, so that was one thing that was serious that I think a lot of people don't recognize or realize, that it really was just us. It was only me and Sarah, or, the respective teams. And you can't tell on camera, but that dome is up on a hill, and all the plants and flowers are below it.
Goodness.
So you have been working for 16 hours, wheeling a wheelbarrow up the hill, down the hill, up the hill, down the hill, up the ladder, down the ladder. It's exhausting.
Did they do that on purpose? Why would they do that?
For fun, drama.
I don't know that was the thought process.
Yeah, I don't think it was. I think that's the land that they found and it was beautiful and they wanted it.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think the other part of the stuff is it would rain. We were in England. It would rain, and these potted plants would get so heavy. So in the morning, you're hauling these plants up, and it's doable. By the afternoon, your muscles are fatigued, and now it's rained, and the plants are sopping wet with water.
And that affects your designs as well, because a dry design going into chicken wire is a lot easier than a heavy design. You have to rethink your whole process. Man, we learned a lot.
We did learn a lot.
Yeah, you definitely have to be careful, otherwise your supports are going to break.
Yeah. Yes, that's true.
Yes, very true. That's just, it's crazy to me that you guys had to. So, lessons for everyone that wants to be on season number 2 is take carpenter classes and go start CrossFit training.
Go to the gym.
Yes, go to the gym. And watch every episode like 15 times. Look at every detail. Look at the tools. Look, anyone that wants to do this in season 2, really pay attention to what we had at our disposal. I'm really excited for season 2 because, now these designers are going to come in. They know what the show is. They know what the premise is. I think we made some pretty cool stuff. Season 2 is
It's
going
gonna
to
be
kick
amazing.
our butts.
But I think we really need, I think the people that have seen the show and love the show need to be vocal about how much the show means to them and what they learned, because people are watching. You're watching the show, but the people who made the show are now watching all of us to see if a season 2 is something people would be interested in. So now
Right.
more than ever, it's really important, if you want to see a season 2, say it on Instagram and on Twitter and on Facebook, because they're looking right now to see, okay, are people liking this? Should we do more? So if you want to be on season 2, now is the time to start campaigning.
Yeah,
Season
so
2.
there's always whenever Netflix does any of these shows, they always want to do, if they're going to do a series, they want to do multiple series. So season 2 is definitely a thought process, but they first want to make sure season 1 is a smashing success, which right now on Rotten Tomatoes, the critics didn't like it, but
They never like
the
anything.
public has given us a 95%, which is huge.
Yeah.
Awesome. Woo!
So tell everyone
Congratulations.
to watch the big flower fight so that you can be on season 2.
Season 2.
Well, I don't know if that's
Season
true.
2. So, okay,
Love
so that's my question. If there's planning a season 2, so I guess that's the answer to that.
Yeah, we hope they
Sylvia,
are.
yeah, Sylvia wants to know, like, how do you apply to be on it? She's asking for a friend, for real.
That's a great question.
So I don't know right now. I know that they did auditions. They did auditions when they were first starting casting. I don't know for season 2 how that's going to roll.
Yeah.
I am hoping that we can give them a laundry list of the people we think would rock it on the show.
Oh, yeah.
I might have already sent over a preliminary list.
So I think my best advice would be, Sarah and I were on the show, but we are not behind the scenes on the production. Like, they tell us when they're thinking of something cool, or they are passing along photos for the internet to see, or stuff like that. But we don't get to see those kinds of planning details. However, find the show on Instagram. Follow the people who were a part of this season, because guaranteed, like Sarah and I guaranteed, if there's a season 2 and they tell us how people can apply, you will see it on our social medias for sure.
Yes.
Right. Very good. I love it. I love it. So, when it's all said and done, guys, and I think I know the answer, but I still want to hear it.
Okay.
Would you guys do this all over again?
Yeah. So here's the funny thing. That sounded like a sarcastic yes. I didn't mean it to be sarcastic.
If you asked us this 2 weeks ago before the show had been released, hands down, we're like, yeah. But then we watched the show.
Yeah, watching that show really brought back. Here's the thing. It's a show that wants to be fun and entertaining, right? And it is. It was so fun and so entertaining.
But it was hard.
Yeah, guys, it was really difficult. Physically difficult, emotionally difficult. And as amazing as it was, Sarah and I would probably really have to have a talk about, okay, can we physically and mentally do that again? But come on, you know us.
Yeah,
we would do it again.
We'd say yes.
We'd be like, oh, I don't know, just kidding, of course.
Good talk.
Good talk. Yeah. Of course we would. But I think we would approach it differently this time, knowing what we know now. But of course, who would say no? Did you see the amazing things that we made?
I would have to negotiate hair and makeup, because that was actually a thing that Jordan didn't care. It bothered me the most. I felt like my hair was always like this.
Yeah, we were like crazy on the show.
I love it. Hair and makeup. I like that.
Yeah. Well, after you've been in the rain shoveling dirt and lifting plants for 13 hours, there's only so nice you can look. Like, there's a threshold for beauty on that, and like you can't go past much.
I agree. When you're hustling, it's not like you're just lounging around. It's like, okay, you have to go as fast as possible and make it as beautiful as possible, and that's a lot of stress. I think
the only time we ever lounged on the show was during the sea creature one, where they had beach chairs in the sand. And during judging, when the camera wasn't on us, all of us contestants were like, where's the beach chair? I'm taking a nap. That was only lounging.
We didn't normally have chairs.
No, never chairs.
So we made their set design our lounge.
Yeah, we slept.
I love it. So we're getting near the end, guys, and we went through so many questions. I loved it. Everyone that asked the questions, thank you. Is there anything, Jordan and Sarah, that you want to kind of close with about your experience on the show? And by the way, also, if you want to share anything, and also for everyone that's watching, I put Intrigue's Instagram so you guys can connect with them afterwards if you haven't already.
Yeah. I think my takeaway would be, like we were just saying in regards to season 2 and stuff, be vocal. If you love the show, tell the world that you're loving it. That's really important to us, to the show, and I think for our industry, the whole point behind this was to put the spotlight on flowers, and in order for that to happen, we need people to be talking about it and watching it and loving it. So I think that's my takeaway in regards to the show.
So for me, I'm looking for other opportunities that I can connect with. How else can I help to uplift our floral community? How else can I find ways to create new opportunities for floral designers to show off their work and to thrive? And we've kind of talked a lot about our platform. So on the Intrigue Teachers platform, it's pretty much just been me teaching for the last few years on that. And just kind of as a fluke, this winter we had Taylor and Nick come in to do a tutorial that we gave to our Intrigue Apprentice members. And I realized that there's so many incredibly talented designers out there. So I want to use this platform to help me find these talented designers that are eager to share their skills so that we can share them through the Intrigue Teachers platform.
Yeah. And then as far as where to find us, obviously Intrigue's Instagram is in there. If you're a florist who wants to be a part of our kind of micro community, we also have a Facebook group as well, the Intrigue Teaches Facebook Wedding Community, which is
such a great
great group.
It really
It's
is.
full of florists and designers and wedding industry professionals. It's a place where they can go to talk about what they're doing, ask questions about what they're doing. If you see a flower you don't know, you can ask, hey, what is this and how do I use it? Kind of things like that. It's a great group.
It's a completely free group. You do have to be a florist or in the wedding industry, and you have to be positive and giving. If you are snarky, you're just not gonna like the group at all. It's not a snark group. It's a we love everybody, let's help everybody kind of group.
Yeah. And then you can find me on Instagram at the Jordy Journey is on there. I'm also tagged in Sarah's. You can find me through Sarah's.
Yeah, I pretty much post about Jordan almost every day now.
Yeah. Well, I got blocked out of my Instagram because I've been trying to respond to all of the lovely new followers who are saying hello and complimenting our designs, and Instagram thinks I'm a spam bot. So I'm currently blocked out of my account because I was talking to too many new friends.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I think it's hilarious.
You're definitely not a spam bot. And
I'm a real person.
You are a real person. So guys, I did put in links for the Instagram and the Facebook group.
Oh, awesome.
Definitely check that out. And that's a wrap, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Yeah, this was awesome. I love it. And I would love, let's keep touch. Let's, see what's going on in a little bit, right? I know things change and new news, and I want to see what you guys do and where you go from here. It's so exciting. I love watching your journey. Sarah, Jordan, it was nice to meet you finally in real life, kind of, virtually.
No.
Never. I know. I've seen emails and things like that, but never seen her like this way.
I saw you next. Yeah, true.
Yes, I did.
Thank
awesome.
You so much, Yvonne. This was so
thanks,
fun.
guys. That's a wrap, everyone. That's a wrap. I'll see you soon, and stay tuned for our next show. I don't know when it's going to be, but I have something in the works, so it's going to be fun. It might be kind of related to what we're doing right now, maybe with someone different. So as soon as I have that on the lockdown, you guys will know for sure. In the meantime, as always, feel free to email me, DM me, contact for me, however you want. I will get it. You guys stay safe, stay healthy. Have a good day. Bye.